All right, traders, this is my seventh green day in a row. Ended up making over five figures on the day with multiple trades, including the stocks. This was by far one of my best trading days in a little bit. With that being said, I'm also going to prepare you to trade the best setups at the best prices heading into the FOMC meeting, along with recapping the trades that were made today with the price action analysis. Let's get straight into today's lesson. So in terms of Trader Society, this was a phenomenal day, man. Everyone crushed it. We had 54 people green, only 2 red. The people who went red, I asked them for a 500-word essay. I haven't heard back from them yet. It was a phenomenal day, man. I'm going to be going over the analysis, the trades, the recaps. We're going to get straight into it. In terms of the key levels, as I had stated, we were looking for puts, if you watched yesterday's video, towards 437, 438, towards that previous support zone where the massive bull trap was created. I said the key level for puts is 438, almost the exact high of day. We ended up doing puts towards 437. And then I also said 429.90 was the key for calls. That level never hit. Also said we're keeping our eyes on 436 for puts. This idea would have worked as well from market open if you were to do that. And then in terms of this analysis, I'll be covering this as well. At 10:27 a.m., I said SPY is likely going to spike to 437 later and then drop again. And that's exactly what happened. As I had mentioned, you can try the high of day retest for the puts. Also keep an eye to buy calls at 334.50, which was literally the lows. Let's break down this entire analysis in the trades, man, because this was a very spot on day and we had people absolutely crush it today within the chat. One person just joined. He's up a little bit over $1,000, man, and he said Trader Society is changing the game. Let's get straight into it. So in terms of today, let's kind of break this down, right? So in terms of today, one level, like I had stated, if SPY were to gap up, what we were going to do is we were going to look to target puts towards this zone. And the zone was determined on the next resistance level. So SPY ended up gapping up with CPI. It was going up within the pre-market. And the next zone to try to short the SPY was going to be right here at 400. And you can see right here, 435.61, the low of this, all the way up until 438. Somewhere in between that zone, it's going to try to drop. Last time it was at 438, it had a massive sell-off. So that was our key best overall level. Now, how do you get the exact level? Using the daily chart, it said somewhere in between 435 to 438. The higher in that zone, the better. Now, in terms of the pre-market, where did the nice drop occur? The nice drop occurred right here at 436.50. So towards the higher middle end of the zone was going to be the key level for puts, and that's how we kind of came up with those levels in a sense. Now, in terms of some of the trades that were made, I did do the puts towards major resistance once, and I banked on that, and then I told them they can keep on doing it. If they want to do puts at 437, that's where you do puts. Now, in terms of these overall price action analysis on this right here, why did I post at if you go to key levels, why did I say at 10:27 a.m. the high of day retest is going to be for the key for puts from here? SPY is likely going to spike to 437. Why did I say that at 10:30 a.m.? Literally right around here when SPY was in the lows at 10:30 a.m. If we go to 10:30 a.m., why did I say right here that SPY is likely going to spike back to $437. And I said that when this was towards the lows, when we were very still low towards 435.70s towards the lows. I also said the key for calls is 434.50, but that was after that, after it already bounced. But why did I say that's going to likely retest 437? Because SPY for weeks, it just keeps on going back up to retest the high of these wicks. See how there's a wick right here? The high of this wick is at 431.26. It drops a little bit. It reverses at 10:30 a.m. and then it spikes back up to the high of the wick. And then typically it will try to drop first when it tests the high of that wick. I noticed there was a key high wick right here at 437. That's why I said it's likely going to spike back up because it's been doing that for weeks. If you guys have been studying the 30-minute chart on SPY, look at this, man. You see the wicks, you see the high of these wicks, it goes right back up to the wicks, and then it starts to drop. So look right here. You have the high of these wicks, where major bull traps were created for the short term for scalpers on the day. It retests the wick and then it drops again. That's why I said it's likely going to spike back up to the high of the day. And then I also said you can try to short it. This is where you're going to want to buy puts at the high of day, because the way that this wick formed, a major bull trap was created at the high of 437. And it had a very nice drop in a very short period of time, an overreaction to the downside, all the way to 430, 460. So the most likely outcome is it's going to spike right back up. And then since the candle looks this way, it's going to continuously try to trap the bulls at the high of this wick. It depends on how the wick looks. This is a very bearish wick where a major bull trap was triggered on the intraday for scalpers. So it's likely going to spike back up. And then when it hits that wick, that's what you're going to want to do. And I said they can do it again within the chat. There was a new wick that formed right here at 437.20 when this already dropped nicely and they took gains if they played it. I said you can do it again, and it worked again. And I even said they could do it again right here when it goes back to 47.20 whenever it wants to do that again, right? But that wick's not as good. But the point being is, every single time it forms a nice bull trap at key resistance that was kind of tested for the first overall time today in a while, every time it would go back to the high of these wicks, it would start to drop. And that's how you find your entry for puts. It's the top of the channel. It's where all the bull traps got created today. And it's just understanding that when it tests the high of these wicks, it's likely going to have a small little drop where they take these 470 put options and it goes above and they bring them out of the money. And then you buy those 437 put options when they're barely out of the money, and then you sell them in the money. That's where the big profit is made with options trading. When you can buy an option contract that is out of the money, and we don't go far out of the money, we barely go out of the money, but the point is you scalp it out of the money and then you sell it in the money, right? We don't do that on every single trade. It depends where SPY's price is. But if 437 puts are barely out of the money and there's major resistance at 437.15, yeah, we're going to go with 437 puts out of the money, and then we're going to sell those puts in the money. And that out of money to in the money flip with the contracts is a very, very nice profit, especially if you were to go at a closer dated expiration. Not that you needed to in that situation because it's already lucrative, right? So that's what we're doing, and that's how I came up with that overall thesis. And that's how we were really able to crush it, in terms of the short side and also the long side. We took advantage of the long side. I actually ended up trading stocks today because I've been noticing, man, in terms of the stocks have been getting much higher returns than the SPY. I took advantage of multiple opportunities. I bought Rivian calls today, and I bought ULTA. I took a very large investment in ULTA. I sold it, took my profits as it had a massive 4% spike today. But that was the game, man, in terms of Rivian had a very, very bullish pattern where it could have a very, very nice green day on the day. And this can continue to run later throughout the weeks up until July. There's crazy call volume. I'm going to continuously watch this stock. But basically with Rivian, what I was seeing was you have this doji right here at key support. You have this doji right here at key support. What does it do the next day? The next day it closes strong at the highs. What does it do today? It closes strong at the highs. Same candlestick, same candlestick. That's why I was buying Rivian calls, because I was looking at that bullish pattern and I took advantage of it, along with everything being bullish, and just combining that thesis with SPY's likely going to try to retest 437. And then ULTA, this just made perfect sense, man. You got to buy this stock when it's just extremely oversold. This stock's an absolute beast. Whenever it has a massive gap down, it tends to quickly recover within time. It's a great stock for the long term. I took advantage of ULTA as well. I was buying this one up towards the morning. So it was a phenomenal day, man. The vast majority of my profit today actually came from calls. I made a lot of money with ULTA and Rivian and SPY, crushed it on SPY, man. But the vast majority of the profit that was made today was actually on calls. And again, in my video yesterday, I was not anticipating to do calls at these levels, but we trade the chart. We trade the chart, we trade the price action, we trade the 30-minute candles. We trade what we see, not what we think. You got to trade what you see, not what you want to see. That's something that you guys have to understand. So anyways, those were the overall trades that were made, and that's how we came up with only to do puts at the high of day. I do not recommend any other levels to do puts today but the high of day, and you could have done that 3 times on the day. And there was great opportunities for calls. I had a couple good opportunities for calls. We did very, very well on the call side. That's where the vast majority of my profit was made today. I also called this out as well. I said it's going to try to close strong because it formed a bullish hammer at key support. This was the bullish hammer. Once this bullish hammer closed, I noticed that this is a very bullish 30-minute hammer, and it's at key bottom wick support. When SPY's at this key bottom wick support, it tends to quickly ramp up to 437. I brought a ton of awareness in this chat, and then people were writing calls into that power hour play. SPY also loves to spike when it's oversold on the day and towards key support of a channel during power hour 3 p.m. for the run up. So always keep that in mind. Took advantage of that bullish hammer as well. So big shout out to Trader Society. Those were the main trades and those were the main recaps, and that was the main analysis, man. This month has truly been incredible, but this was the day where I finally, got a good taste of the call side, and it was very, very good, man. This was a phenomenal trading day. Even traded some stocks, and I did very, very well on the call option side. That's where the vast majority of the 5-figure profit was made. So, with that being said, how can we prepare to trade tomorrow in terms of the FOMC, right? So, what I can say in advance is these are the key levels that we're going to be focusing on. 436.66. This is the previous closing price. This is the top end of the current channel, and this is major resistance on the SPY. Now, is there any confirmation to really swing trade puts or anything like that? No, these are just, green bullish candles with the green bullish uptrend, right? But this is major resistance. So basically, what I will be looking at personally tomorrow is a zone. I'm going to be looking at a resistance zone, which is going to be 436.66 to 470 to 437.30. 437.30 being the best level, and also we still have a wick at 437.30, and it's been topping at all of those wicks. I will say this is the most bearish wick, but you can see it's already trying to top out in a sense towards that wick. So I'm going to be eyeing 437.30. That's my main level for tomorrow. I'm also going to keep an eye on 436.66. Basically, 436.66 is make or break higher, support in a sense. Very, very high make or break support. Your resistance is 437.30 to 438. 438 is a key major resistance level that you'd want to focus on as well. And if you go back throughout the past history on the SPY, you will just visually see that a major bull trap was created right here at $438. Now, this is what I need to bring awareness to. I want you to think of like support at 436.60, and I want you to think of that as a very high support level towards resistance. I want you to think of the top of the channel as of now at 437.30 to 438. So if I'm seeing, and what you need to understand is, since SPY is uptrending, it is extremely dangerous to buy puts at support levels, even if they are high support levels. But if I'm seeing some sort of bearish confirmations on 30-minute, towards this 437 to 438 zone, then I will be looking to scalp puts. It's going to try to top out towards that 437.30 level. Now, this is what I need you to understand. There is absolutely no reason to do puts if SPY breaks above 438 and forms a floor. If SPY breaks above 438 and forms a floor, we will not be doing any puts. We will be laughing at all the bears as they will get squeezed and destroyed if that happens. So what I'm telling you is, if the SPY breaks above $438 and then it pulls back, they form support at 438 or they form higher support, there is absolutely no reason to do puts. You are going to get trapped in a short-term, bear trap if you do puts, if that situation occurs, right? So that would be my max pain if I do anything. And I know exactly what to look for. If it breaks above, forms support, or forms higher support, then it's super bullish. What you need to understand is, if 438 breaks above and forms support, you're looking at a massive spike to 445. How do I come up with that? Because right here, the low of day was at 437.86, and it got to a high of 445. And you could just visually see right here, the low of day was 437 and the high was 450. So the point being is, if this roof turns into a floor, there's big upside potential. And what it's going to do is, and this is where exactly where it's going to top out if this happens, is right here at this previous support level that really kind of hasn't been tested towards this like 445, 440, 450 level. That's where it's going to top out. So if this breaks above and forms a floor, they're going to rocket this all the way to 444, 445. That's the next level where we do puts. Basically the high of this candle towards the previous support. That's your next zone for puts. You don't go holding puts into the middle of this channel and get squeezed for dear life. So write that down. Now, in terms of the bulls, in terms of the bears need to maintain under 438. If they continue to maintain under 438, then we will start to drop. That's what you need to understand. As long as we're forming resistance, as long as we're maintaining under and forming bearish confirmations at 437.30 to 438, then we will start to drop. And then you're going to want to start looking for puts in that higher end situation, not at support levels. Now, in terms of the drop, what would be our overall key levels? So if you're a bear, you just can't aim big for the type of market that we're in, right? And you don't want to be chasing as a bull. You want to take your gains quickly. But in terms of targets, man, this is very simple. 433.80. So what I need you to understand is about SPY, there is a gap to fill below at 433.80. There's a gap to fill below at 433.80. That is the absolute most that we would aim for puts. There's also key support at 434.60. So that would be like profit take zone if you do any puts. Obviously, I would be out a lot before then. But basically, if it maintains under 438 to 437.30, they're going to bring this back to 434.50 to 433.80. And, we know we can't be aiming extremely big because it's just too many traps and you don't want to risk giving back your profits, even if tomorrow's going to be a day where it gets crushed, right? But with that being said, you need to be aware of how well the previous closing price as of lately has been reacting as a support level and as a great opportunity to buy calls when the SPY gaps up and retest that level. You can just visually see, looking at this 30-minute chart, every single time SPY has been hitting this white line, almost every single time, it's been reacting as support, reacting as support, reacting as support, has a gap up here, fills the gap, green bullish 30-minute, reacts as support. We play calls on that, banked. Right here, it reacts as support. So what are the gaps? The gaps are 433.80. That's a key level. And then the most oversold one that I would absolutely love is 429.90. So those are my overall levels heading into tomorrow for calls on oversold levels. I will be keeping an eye on 433.80 with a tight stop. It's going to try to have a small bounce there. An amazing level would be 429.80. 429.80 would be an amazing level. So understand, these are two key levels at previous resistance where the SPY is going to try to bounce for a quick scalp in and out, meaning when it goes under 434, they're going to try to bring those 434 calls back in the money and you sell them into the money for a quick scalp. When it goes to 429.80, this is a more oversold level. They're going to try to bring those 430 calls back in the money, and you can hold that for a little bit longer since it's oversold, and then you sell into the in the money spike, right? So that would be my overall thesis. If this was a bearish scenario, I wouldn't aim too big, and I would look to do calls at this 429.80. You can try 433.80, but you got to use a tight stop. That's my overall thoughts. That's my overall levels. If we were to play the oversold chart, my new levels to keep an eye on would be 429.80. We could also potentially bounce at 432, but I like 429.80. I'm keeping an eye on this 432 previous resistance. This is where a major bear trap was created. I'm keeping an eye on 433.80 as well. Those are the levels where I like for the bears to get trapped for a short-term move to the upside, but I like the more lower ones in a sense. And then we went over the 437, 438, and then if the bears get trapped, we went over 445. And for people wondering if SPY broke above 438 and it formed support, would you buy calls? That's something that's just in the moment. What you need to understand is that's an overbought level, and I don't like chasing calls. However, even though it's an overbought level, doesn't mean it's going to be a terrible level for the intraday to play calls, right? We got to wait and see. That's just something where I would have to visually wait and see how I feel about it, if I like the price action, if I think it's going to be safe, right? But you just need to understand if 438 reacts bearish, we're looking at a very nice drop. If 438 reacts bullish, we're looking at a very nice move to 445. So it's just understanding and determining if that key level is reacting as a resistance level, and then we make a trade once we get confirmation, we get stopped out, and then you just sit on the sidelines, or you can switch sides and make money the other way. That's the game, man. You just need to understand that we are at an extremely lucrative level to be trading at in the market. It says it right here. If it breaks above 438, we're looking at 444. If 438 reacts as a resistance, we're looking at a very nice drop, and there's multiple gaps to fill below and SPY's due for a pullback. We shall wait and see what the chart is telling us. If it's breaking above, forming a support for the move up, or if it's breaking down, forming a resistance for the move down. Trade what you see, not what you want to see. What I'm seeing is, this is a major level where the bears or bulls can get trapped. So if it's forming a resistance at this level, I'm going to play puts. If it's forming a support, a floor at this level, I'm going to either sit on the sidelines or I'm going to try calls with a tight stop loss, right? And then, in terms of my next level for puts, if it did go bullish, I would hit puts right here at $445, $445 to $444. Those are the levels where I like puts for the next level. That's our overall game plan. That's our overall thesis. So our main levels of interest, 438. If it reacts bearish, we do puts, 438, 437, 30. If it reacts bullish, then we go to 445. And then we do puts at 445, right? And in terms of other levels, we're keeping an eye on 433.80. This is a gap to fill right here, not the best level. And then a very nice level is 429.80. 429.80 is a very nice level. And if this somehow got rugged all the way down here, man, I would definitely be hitting calls at 426. If this somehow got rugged all the way down to 426, I would definitely be hitting calls in that situation. There's just no way this can go into 426 tomorrow. And then we love our 424 level as well. But yeah, man, we shall see. Tomorrow's going to be an absolutely crazy day. We are going to crush it, man. We are crushing it almost every single day, man. If you want to be a part of Traders Society, this is the best time to join Traders Society, man. And you can also write off, this education as your tax write-off. As a trader, when you're making money, when you're doing well, you're going to need tax write-offs. You can write off, computer expenses, equipment, education, courses, stuff like that. But anyways, man, I would encourage you to join the program. It is the first link down below in the description of this video, the first link down below. And it's a one-time fee, and you get lifetime access. You get lifetime access to the Discord server, to the community. So I'm going to post all my key levels in real time. I'm going to post, the watch list in real time. The trade signals. We had a phenomenal trade. This is where I posted my best trades on Rivian calls. I was buying Rivian calls midday. This is a phenomenal trade. Made like 20% on that very, very quickly for a 1,500 gain. Live trading streams, the SPY floor. This is the money-making floor, man. This is where you're going to want to be. This is where all the moderators are. This is where all the best traders are. They're all posting within the SPY floor. I've already met up with 4 people in person. The best traders, I've already met up with them within the SPY floor. They're absolutely phenomenal. We're going to be meeting up again in New York City soon. You get access to the stock trading floor, the swing trading floor, the charts. This is a new section where we just added where you can post all your charts and technical analysis. You get access to the announcements, the economic events. It's all in here, man. Look, if you want to learn how to trade the best setups at the best prices and get access to the video lesson library where you learn all of my trading strategies, how to master candlesticks, how to master price action, how to master the SPY, how to master stocks, man. We're going to be trading stocks a little bit more often as well. We've noticed, man, when the market is just on fire with this bull market, you got to consider trading stocks because the calls are making more money than SPY itself on very, very green and bullish days. So that's something I'm going to be keeping on my radar as well because I did very well with Rivian and ULTA today. So if you want to be a part of it, it's the first link down below in the description. Everything explained, it's all down below in terms of what's included and what you get. Like I said, the community, the real-time trade alerts, the real-time analysis. You get all your questions answered. You can ask any question right here within ask the traders section, trading mindset section, psychology, risk management, position sizing, and all the trading strategies, all the video lessons, all my real-time trade alerts, all my real-time trade analysis. You get access to the moderators. We have a couple multimillionaires in there. Man, this dude is crazy, man. Look at this. Who is doing this? You guys remember the trader Ninja I posted on the community section? Ninja's the trader that made a $7 million profit. He made a $6.3 million profit on NVIDIA. He ended up swing trading NVIDIA call options. This guy Ninja, man, he just ended up killing it on SPY calls. This dude's absolutely crazy, man. He was on vacation. He ended up buying SPY calls literally yesterday, and he swing traded them. He was against the herd, and he banked, man. This guy kills it on his swing trades every single day, man. This guy right here, this Ninja trader. He ended up buying call options on SPY yesterday, and he swing traded those against the herd, and he absolutely banked again. He's the best trader that I've seen in terms of Trader Society when it comes to swing trading, and he absolutely crushed it, man. I got to give a big shout out to this guy because it's truly incredible in terms of what he is doing. Ninja687, that's his tag. So definitely keep an eye on his swing trades, man, because it's truly incredible, man. It is truly incredible in terms of the trades that this guy has been making. But anyways, if you want to be a part of it, is the first link down below in the description. I will see you guys tomorrow. We're going to absolutely crush it.